Hey, what's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This is JB right here, host of the Behind the Bench podcast networking channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew, Shy, Kelvin, and Jermaine. And for everyone who is tuning in, I hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make this podcast the best that it can be. Now check this out. Ja Morant. Ja Morant, right? And I know he's been under a lot of scrutiny this past season, and I get it, man. I get it. And, he's 23 years old, and, he has an opportunity to, correct decisions that he has made as of late and move forward with his career. I'm hoping that he does. You know what I'm saying? But in the grand scheme of things, this is why, me personally, when it comes to professional basketball, they have been allowing players to enter the league so young that it's actually a surprise that we don't hear more off-court troubles that these players can potentially have, coming in the league, entering the league at 18, 19 years old. But hopefully, he figures it out and makes better choices. And I believe in the grand scheme of things, I believe eventually he will. I believe he'll get there. You know what I'm saying? But just a backdrop on Ja, man, and the Memphis Grizzlies and, how they started. He was drafted in 2019, the same year that Zion Williamson was drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans, and R.J. Barrett drafted by the New York Knicks. But people forget that the Memphis Grizzlies are a serious team. Now, I know that they fell short in the playoffs this past season and lost in the first round to the Los Angeles Lakers. But number one, Ja Morant was dealing with injury to his wrist. He injured his wrist before the end of the regular season leading into the playoffs. Then he re-aggravated that same injury. So he was not 100% in terms of dealing with an injury like that. Then, of course, his off-court situation. But Memphis also was missing their starting center, Steven Adams, who I believe was leading the league in rebounds before he suffered a knee injury in January. They kept him out the rest of the season. Then their backup center, Brandon Clark, he injures his Achilles in March. So they was missing their starting center, their backup center. So the Jaren Jacksons of the world had to basically play out of position, even though he won Defensive Player of the Year. And then Xavier Tillman had to play out of position too. And they still took the Lakers 6 games. I believe personally, if Memphis would have been fully healthy, I believe they win that series. Because truth be told, throughout the course of the regular season, Memphis posed a major threat to a lot of teams, including the Lakers, Clippers, Golden State, who they had just faced the previous playoff when Ja Morant got hurt in that series. Sacramento, they matched up well with Sacramento and matched up good with the other playoff level teams in the West. And for 2 years straight, they finished the season at the number 2 seed. So they ain't nobody to be laughing around with or laughing at. They should be taken seriously. So I'm thinking Ja Morant come back with a new focus, new determination, and move beyond, what he dealing with, off the court. Memphis gonna be right there again. and experiencing playoff situations is only going to make them better. Because remember, they made the playoffs for the first time with Ja Morant as their top player back in the 2020-21 season when they faced the Utah Jazz in the first round and lost to them in 5 games. And then even the year before that, when they played in the bubble, they was 1 game away from advancing to the playoffs in that situation, and it took Damian Lillard to go berserk and score during his 60 points in that seeding game between Portland and Memphis for the Trailblazers to advance to the playoffs as the A seed. So Memphis has been right there for the past 4 years, and I see them being major contenders for years to come. So Ja Morant, hope he comes back strong, man, because I think he's gonna put the league on notice. Me personally, he only 23 years old, so he got plenty of years left ahead of him. He just have to, make better choices. You know what I'm saying? Which ultimately I believe he will. So Ja Morant, he was like an MVP candidate. So he's one of the top players in the league. He could easily be considered a top 10 player in the league. So Memphis ain't going nowhere. They're going to be a prime contender again this year in the West. Nothing going to change. But Ja Morant, man, I think he'll come back big. And, when he's allowed to return, and I think he pretty much going to pick up where he left off. You know what I'm saying? So Memphis going to be right there again. They'll be in the playoff mix. And as they say, let the chips fall where they may. So I just want to drop that real quick. This is JB, and until next time, BTB Behind the Bench.